Fast forward, I don't even know how many years, how many moves. Anyway, we were in Virginia. We were planning the retirement move to New Hampshire. So we were in the house cleaning and took a lunch break. And I was talking to Nikki on the phone. And I must have known that something was wrong because I said, hold on a minute, and I set the phone down. And Melanie picked up the phone and said, something's wrong with Mom.
I was at work. I was about to go in to lead a meeting, and I get a phone call, and it's EMS, and it says, are you aware that an ambulance has been dispatched to your house? And I'm thinking, an ambulance in my house? What? There's only 2 people at the home, and they're both healthy. You know, what did Karey cut herself? I couldn't imagine what they would need to call an ambulance for. So we got to the hospital. I'm outside the treatment bay, the trauma bay where they brought her, and it's a big picture window, so I could see what was happening as they're working on her. I see her flat line on the monitor, and it was flat. Usually, you know, if you go into fibrillation, it's bouncing around. That's the shockable rhythm. A flat line is asystole. That's the line of death, and that usually doesn't respond to shocking, to electricity to the chest. And so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking through my mind, this is not good. And so, you know, the chaplain and I started to pray as they're performing shocking and pushing drugs and everything. And somehow they got her rhythm back again. Things got worse through the day and into the night. By 2 a.m., the attending came to me and said, Dr. Packard, you've seen what we've done here. He said, there's nothing else we can do. She's not going to survive the night. If your kids want to say their goodbye, now's the time to call them in. The 3 of us, Brett, Melanie, and I, stood around the bed and we prayed a prayer just from the heart, saying, God, we don't understand what's going on. We don't understand why this is happening, but please have mercy. Please, I know that she's a Christian. If she dies, she goes to you, and that's great. But for us, we beg for mercy that you would heal, that you would intervene here. After that prayer, things stopped getting worse. Now, they were still horrendous. The numbers still said this was not survivable. But at least she stopped deteriorating. That morning, they brought in the neurologist, and he went and examined her, and he comes back out and he says, Dr. Packard, this is a non-survivable event. And even if she did survive, she would be profoundly brain damaged. So that was quite a kick in the teeth. And so again, there was a lot of prayer, and God, I don't want her to live as an invalid. I certainly don't want her to die. I really didn't know what to pray. I just was praying, God's will be done. 6 hours after the neurologist left, as I was sitting in the room, Karey opened her eyes. I said, if you can hear me, squeeze my fingers. And she squeezed the fingers with her right hand. So, this is showing not only that she's awake enough, but she's processing commands. This shows higher brain function. That's when I knew that God was doing something miraculous, because she was not supposed to be able to do that. It was tough, but she managed to rehab, came out of the ICU, what day?
It's in the ICU 23 days.
Yeah, and then she went to a rehab facility. That was difficult because the heart she would race every time with the least amount of exertion. When they first took the tube out, the breathing tube, she was so weak she could not bring her finger up to her nose, so she had to be fed. She had no muscle mass left at all. Amazing how quickly that happened. What I would want people to know through these events that we've gone through is that first, God answers prayers. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you also that He doesn't always answer the prayer the way we want it. I would have loved to say, God, heal her, take her hand, she sits up and we walk out of the hospital, you know, and don't have to do the work and what she went through. But God doesn't operate that way. He has a plan, he has a purpose. And so sometimes the answer to prayers are not exactly as we would have diagrammed it.